Right?
I don't know. I see. Ever do attack.
Yeah.
We've been having fun behind.
The cameras.
Yes, it's been a nice conversation behind the cameras already. David.
Yes, it is World Food Safety Day. And one of the things that has been dropping in my mind whenever I remember this food safety is that whenever you talk about food safety, all I think a very touchy area. Because people will be like, I've gone Kaylee, we're going get safety. So I like these conversations when they come up, and thank God we have a nutritionist with us in the studio to help us as people, as families, to understand what we can do within our reach to ensure that the foods we eat in our homes are safe for consumption.
Yes, and talking about food safety, I remember David used to ask me, and like long ago, say, "Oluchi, all these watermelon that they cut, all this pineapple that they cut," and I keep asking, "Do you want to buy the full head?" You still definitely have to learn. So I'm actually happy we're having this conversation. People now, especially with the emergence of social media, people feel that something like there's this video that trended over the weekend where a popular biscuit is being produced, and somebody asked the question of, are they not supposed to be wearing gloves? How can she be talking into the biscuit?
I saw that video.
And somebody came to the comment section and said, all of una they talk like so not too clean for una house. And I'm like, really? But I'm happy we're having this conversation.
It's a very important conversation. Like you mentioned that fruit area, and it's somewhere that I'm interested in. I stopped eating banana at a point because of the way I discovered they used to ripen
Discover it alone, Dave. Keep your discoveries to yourself.
All right, let's get into the discussion. We have with us this morning a registered dietitian and nutritionist with us right here in the studio. She is Obianojue Ojiekwe Ezenkwele, and also the Secretary of the Nutrition Society of Nigeria, Anambra State Chapter. Together we will be understanding what it means to eat safe and even eat right to an extent. Thank you very much for joining us in the studio this morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Let me comment. This is actually the first time I'm seeing a very young dietitian. And a lady, so I'm proud.
Yes.
You know we're not.
Yes.
But then I want to ask, is there a difference between a nutritionist and a dietitian? Before we start, so let me know your own credit and they give on that. Let me not ask a question that is way not ahead. Is there a difference between a nutritionist and a dietitian?
Thank you. This is an important question, and I believe everybody should understand it.
Yes.
Now, so many people can be nutrition. Nutrition is a kind, it's not really regulated. Just like someone that studies food science can be a nutritionist, but a dietitian, you have to pass through the rigorous processes of going for studying nutrition and dietetics proper in your O level. Then after that, you proceed for your internship, 1 year, uninterrupted 1 year internship in a hospital, then write your professional examination. If you pass, you'll be awarded registered dietitian nutrition. Remember, NYS is compulsory before that. But somebody can study 2 months, 2 weeks.
Dietitian is a certified.
Certified.
A professional.
Yeah, professional, registered and regulated.
Yeah,
Exactly.
okay.
Good.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank
So we know now we are
pleasure.
talking to the professional. All right, let's get into the conversation because whenever we talk about food safety and the discussions around it, let's even get into the basics. If we say food safety, what does it mean? If I'm saying I'm eating safe food, is it even possible in Nigeria now? What does it mean to say that this food is safe for consumption?
Okay, now I want to first of all give the overview of what we are doing today.
Okay.
The international body, both the local and international, I mean WHO, World Health Organization, FAO, Food and Agriculture Organization, Nutrition Society of Nigeria and Dietitians Association of Nigeria, and other food-related organizations mapped out today, this June 7th, to celebrate food safety. We want to put to the public there is need for a wholesome food because food is a fuel to the body. Invariably, if you don't handle it well, it can give someone a disease and ultimately death. So we set aside today to preach the good news about the benefits and the why we should eat wholesome food, not just food, but safe food. Yes, just like you asked, food, you can eat a safe food. starting from the handling. In fact, starting from the cultivation. I don't want to dive much about the cultivation because agriculturists might penalize me. So starting from the cultivation, it has to be organic. Then from the cultivation, make sure it does not mix with some pesticides and all that. Once that area is secured, that's what comes, your kitchen, the way you carry it to your kitchen, that is a process. You have to clean your hands and maintain just those personal hygiene. It's just enough small things we need to do. Once you get it, then clean the fruit, depending on the nature of the fruits. Like we have the fruits and vegetables, the way you handle fruits and vegetables are typically different from the way you handle your maybe milk, your meat, and poultry, and the rest of them. So yes, one can have a safe and wholesome food, and that is why we are here to preach the good news, so that the masses will hear.
All right, so back to what he asked. I want to ask a separate question.
Okay.
You spoke about handling.
Yes.
In this hardship now, no, I just want to know.
Yes.
You spoke about a lot of processes whereby food can be wholesome.
Yes.
But I'd like to know, like, the Nigerian streets will say, which one not to matter? Why I want to know which one not to matter is, you can talk about how you do the food thing in your house. What about outside? Let me give an instance. You work, including you now, let me say for instance, you work for a long period of time. Maybe you left home very early, you couldn't even pick up that breakfast in your flat, and then you step out in a restaurant to buy food, and the woman is dishing out the food, she's talking inside that food anyhow. Just they talk anyhow inside the food. Does that make the food less wholesome? I just want to know, I want to know, from the spit, because some people will say,
1,001 microorganisms.
And I remember I once wanted to buy pork meat. It was close to a bin. I went to the woman, I was like, Madam, everything you get is dustbin. I said, Madam, you need a dustbin area. I'm the one that you need a dustbin. So I really want to know, at what point can you say, well, they don't already cook the food well? It's not really this small exposure. You get my point?
Yes.
But the small exposure now that I'm talking about is the in-between from the pot and the exposure before it lands in your stomach. Does it really matter?
It does.
Okay.
There are microorganisms, there are nyama-nyama, let me use simpler words. There are nyama-nyamas everywhere, including yourself that is talking. You're meant to cover your face, especially your mouth, so that whatever you're spitting doesn't enter. We don't know what happens in your spit or what your spit contains. So to be on a safer side, please cover up your mouth while dishing out the public food. Maybe if you want to serve yourself in your house, if you are eating now, you can open your mouth as wide as possible.
Back.
Now you, from you to you. Okay. But when you are outside your midst, you try your best to at least cover your mouth. Then for our food vendors, there was a presentation I had at Healthy Living with Noise Salute. I gave an instance where I traveled to the north for a research work. Then the woman was serving spaghetti, bare hand, not even waterproof. And I wanted to shout, but I tapped myself, Obianoju, this is a strange environment. You don't know what will happen to you. I said, Ma, please, why don't you? She smiled, but I've been serving others like this, or why my own can't be different? I said, please, man, all of it. So I think that it's not really that people are doing it to maybe wicked, let me use that, wicked anybody, but I think it's the ignorance. The ignorance per se, that's what they are. That's why they are behaving the way they are. So that is why why we know what we are doing. That ordinary your fingernails can harbor. Ordinary your fingernails can harbor lots of microorganisms. In my internship, let me tell you, we don't fix or keep. Look at my nails; they are very short. They are very short. In my internship, we don't wear ring because we believe that microorganisms can hide. There. We don't have long nails. We don't fix. We don't paint. And moreover, we cover. Ultimately, we cover. So because my chiefs will say, you want to poison my patients, you can never do it. You want to poison, you go to your house and poison your people. So these are the things. Especially when you are serving public, you are meant to cover some vital area. You talk about your nose. Because some people might have catarrh and the rest of them cough. You cover your mouth, cover your fingers, and your hair. Yes, you cover your hair with your hair bonnet so that your strand of hair doesn't contaminate our food. From there, you may think this is small. As little as it is, it goes a long way in making our food safe. Just like I said before, our food can be a source of fuel. We eat and be alive. We can still eat and die. Okay. So,
David, sorry, sorry, no vex, I beg. I don't come out as you see me, sir. All right, so there's this question. I've been asking people, and I'm actually happy I have a dietitian. It just occurred to me that I might forget it. Now, there's a lot of combination in the market now. Yeah. I just want to know, can something healthy, to say this is healthy, we eat this on a normal, but then when you combine it with something else, it's not healthy. Like, what I'm asking is, for instance, let me use a typical meals. Okay. Onubu soup, for instance. Okay. Typically, we have thickeners. We have the ede, we have the achi, and the rest of them. But then these things are becoming expensive. We see people use things like flour to thicken. Oh yeah, people use biscuits. Quaker oats. Yeah, Quaker oats, biscuits, even noodles. Yes. Yeah, I've seen someone that said she uses gari. Okay. Blend it well to thicken. But what I want to know, and then you also come to some people who use paracetamol.
Paracetamol.
To cook meat. I'm just giving you like
okay, yes.
To cook meat. Some people will still come and use watermelon to cook stew.
Okay.
So, but what I want to know is, and then sometimes when you come to the comment section and people are saying, is this even healthy? Okay. Another person will say, but you dey chop am on a normal day, you never die. Yeah. So I want to know, some of these things that separately they are healthy. Yes. When you combine them in this new mixture, does it make it unhealthy? Because what I'm asking is, now I go outside to eat onubu soup and I'm wondering, like, what do they use to cook this for? You get my point? Am I supposed to be worried, or am I just supposed to be concerned that once it's something edible, is healthy? Is it possible another thing that is edible can be mixed with another different mixture that is foreign, and the combination becomes a whole set?
Let me use example, but I'll still come to your question. I was having a discussion with someone, and this person said someone told her that she processes her apple, fermented cassava now, with detergent. I don't want to call the brand. So that it becomes odorless. Normally, our fufu is healthy, but that additive added to it. Imagine a scenario whereby let's assume that adults, I cannot really guarantee that, but let's assume that adult system, human digestive system can handle it. In a situation whereby you have a little child, maybe 1 year toddler, eating it with you, and this digestive system are not really mature enough to handle this. That's why you see cases of cancer, renal failure among children. So coming to Quaker oats,
no, just like different combinations.
Okay, different combinations. I would say once a food is once maybe a certain thickener you are using is natural and is good. Believe me, we are the ones that produced the recipe for bitter leaf. Had it been we produce it with maybe a certain oats, we will. So provided that within that food, within that, will I say, food group that you are still using it, that is your own.
No, what I meant. Okay, like what about people that use biscuits that is already a processed meal?
The only thing there is that is ultra processed. Maybe you're not getting, the only issue is that you may not get enough nutrients you would have gotten from wholesome ede. Ede is natural and it has the carbohydrate and all stuff. Then, but if you go ahead to add things that are not meant to, like drugs, I don't really know what you want to eat or get from adding drugs to your food. You know, drugs can actually react to so many things and produce a poisonous substance. Yeah. So that is bad. Another one I want to point out is, you talked about banana, that you don't go ahead to buy banana.
Especially in public places.
Myself too, I'm scared. Banana and plantain, especially in this vicinity, Jesus Christ. Most of them ripe it with calcium carbide. Yes. Yeah. You see it, it's so shiny, open it. Believe me, it's very white and it's not ripe. It's not ripe, but it's very shiny. I've gotten so many cases of it. And this thing, I've spent so much money, I'll end up in fact, mostly what I use is when I see something like this, I'll go over my WhatsApp and pour out my heart and shout and shout and shout. But I wouldn't know if one of the vendors are looking. I don't know. All I know is that I am talking. Sometimes I use my social media to shout, you don't do this, you don't do that. Even Gary, the normal Gary we are eating, maybe I've spoken so much. Should I continue?
Continue, go on. So, a very important aspect.
So even the general Gary, there's the one I got. I was very mad. I started shouting again. Some person, because of the high quality of Gary, and I don't think we have so much sellers, they don't ferment it again. And you know Gary has so much of cyanide content. Yeah. That is harmful to the body. And when you don't soak it for a long time, it should be...
how do you know the one that was fermented?
It has sour taste. It should have a sour taste. Like, you know, some Ijebu garis and all that, they have sour taste. So they just end up, get gari, blend it, pack everything. You get gari, it's very sugary.
Press it there.
Yes, and people are eating. Unwholesome. Gari itself is very wholesome, but the processes they pass through. And these people doing that, they just want to appease the, will I say, the masses that want demand. They want to appease our demand also and all the rest of it. But they are not looking at the back, the back effects. Go to the hospital, go to pediatric section. You see that, you see renal failure, you see, you'll be wondering what is happening. What is these are the small things that matter. And we don't know who that will be a victim. God forbid. But we keep preaching. So I think our people should know. I just believe that vendors are listening to this ABS program. I believe so. But if peradventure they are not listening, please viewers, tell your neighbor. Let your neighbor tell your neighbor. Neighbor, neighbor, neighbor. By the time every neighbor gets the information, I believe people will at least have conscience. I know it will not stop, but to a greater extent, it will be reduced. Thank you.
Now let's come to families, because when things happen, or when we talk about these conversations, we look at vendors and all that. When you come to the families, what are the safe food practices or things you've seen that people do that are not right when it comes to handling food and what they eat in their family, at the family level now?
Okay,
maybe after you brought those foods
home,
and maybe things that has happened at the market
that's already happened.
Yes. When you now come home, what are those safe food practices that you should observe to ensure that whatever is remaining,
at
least.
Healthy, yes. Okay, for example, if you step outside to get, I'll take them gradually, because fruits and meat, you don't really handle them the same way. Fruits, meats, and vegetables. For example, you stepped out, you got oranges. I believe that it was organically ripened. Let's just leave at that. Assume you are back. Wash your hand, wash your oranges, then peel. Even if people will say, am I not throwing away the bag? Yes, even at that, wash very well and peel and go ahead with stuff. Then, for example, like veggies, garden egg and all that, you can wash with your salt, enough salt. Then after washing with salt, still rinse it off, and in a running water, that's recommended. Rinse in a running water so that we wash away every nyama inside and impurities and all that. So some persons, I will talk about salty water, they will pack their whole salt, and someone that is hypertensive will eat that salty and buy. Not be waiting I talk. What I said is that use salted water. Wash, after washing, then use running water and wash, rinse very well. That's for your veggies. Then for meat is very important. The microorganism in meat is quite different from the microorganism in veggies. You can heat veggies lightly and they are off, but that of meat, some can withstand a higher temperature. That's why we say boil. But before boiling, the gist is, do not use the same cotton bud for your vegetable. Don't use it for your meat. Okay. Because there will be cross-contamination. Then ultimately, if that is impossible, because the economic is very interesting, if that becomes impossible, please handle veggies first before meat. Then wash up. In a situation whereby you forgot, okay, handle your meat, use soap and enough detergent to wash off both the knife and the cotton, so that there shouldn't be a trace of microorganism. Even that, let it be minimal, but the goal is for we not to get any microorganism. Then you boil meat for a period of time. Boil, so that the microorganism in it will die. Then remember to always wash your hand. Then while cooking, while cooking, try as much as possible to cover up, especially if you have, our standard in the hospital, if you have cough and catarrh, don't enter the kitchen. That is the standard. Don't enter the kitchen.
Thank you. You need to meet my mom.
You have cough and catarrh, don't enter the kitchen, because you find out that in a situation where one member of the family has cough and catarrh, it spreads like wildfire. But where you maintain some personal hygiene and all stuff and distancing, I think it stops at the person. I'm not trying to say you isolate your family member. No way.
Please
no,
isolate.
Do not. Don't like. I don't really want
to.
So just try as much as possible to maintain a distance, but not really to package the person in a room and seal the person. Please don't be cruel. So that's it. So, but cover up. But in a situation whereby it's just you, you must cook. Cover up your nose is important, your mouth, then your hair. Try as much as possible to cover. Then if you want to trash any stuff, something like maybe you have some meat extracts that you want to trash, why don't you wrap it up on a cellophane bag before putting it on your waste bin? Even after eating your veggies, not veggies, after eating your fruits and your your fruits and some other food, why don't you, something like mango and all that, just seal it off before you dispose, because if you leave it, microorganisms will breed and it will decay and all the rest of it. So these are the simple things. Then another one is whenever you are coming out from outside, like myself, once I'm coming back from work, I go wash my hand first. Even my baby, once she's coming back from school, I go wash her hand before anything enters her mouth. I don't really know what happened in the school, but to the best of my knowledge, the little I'm doing, once they are back, I dare not give you anything, and both of us, we got to wash our hands before we do anything we are doing. By that, I believe the baby is learning from now. Once you pass the knowledge, it goes off from there. Even to her future family, I know she passes it on. So that's
all right. I'd like to come to you say it's National Association of
National
Society. Okay.
Sorry. No, go
Nutrition Society of Nigeria, Anambra State Chapter.
Nutrition Society of Nigeria.
Yes.
Please. Why I'm actually coming, I just want to know, because a lot of times we see a lot of food practices that you don't even know where to report to. So I want to know what is actually the job of the association, you get?
Yes.
Do you have a job? And then when it comes to Nigeria, is there like a monitoring body? Because that video I spoke about of the biscuit is actually a very popular biscuit. You get to see it.
Most of us enjoy.
And most of them enjoy.
I've not seen the video. What's happening to me?
We have the video. So what I'm actually trying to ask is, I'm happy you're in this. If somebody is watching and the person is like, oh, the problem is you can't even report some of these unwholesome practices. So my question is, in Nigeria, is there like a body that you can report some of these unwholesome practices? Like sometimes you get to see oh yeah, I know this popular place, I'm not going to mention, where you see some of these wheelbarrow vendors, they use detergents to wash both the carrots, the oranges, then they scrub up like pots, they just scrub. It shocked me, but my point now is, I don't really know where I can report them to. So is it your association? Is that part of your role? What is the role of your association? And then what is the appropriate place to actually report for these people to be educated or maybe something?
Okay, now let me define Society of Nigeria clearly. We are an independent association. We are not attached to government. But it's our duty to create awareness, just like I'm doing now. Maybe if there are some researches we've conducted, we put up the indices and shout to government, everybody that look at what you are seeing, and this could be a potential time bomb to the next future. It's now the duty of the government to call the stakeholders of the Nutrition Society of Nigeria or engage or call a round table. How do we tackle this? But now our work does not entail apprehending anybody. We have NAFDAC, National Agency for Food, Drug Administration, Control, and any other agency around NAFDAC. It is their duty to, I don't know about Anambra State, whether we have a peculiar, I think we should. I believe, I don't know who is watching, I think there is a need that there should be a constituted agency going around to monitor what people are doing. I think when they monitor, apprehend one person, two person, maybe not in a harsh way, others will learn. But in a situation where after talking and we are still the same way, The statistics will keep increasing and we don't know who will be the victim. That's the issue. We don't know who that will be the victim, God forbid, anyway. So Nutrition Society of Nigeria will expose the dangers associated to some harmful practices, effects of it, and the benefit of eating wholesome food to the society and government at large. Then it's now the duty of the agency like NAFDAC and some other government agency that Nigeria has set aside to go and look at what we've said and do the needful.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I love the way you simplify some of these conversations because it's something that worries us, especially when people will say, if I name a career, thank you very much. Registered dietitian and nutritionist and Secretary Nutrition Society of Nigeria, Anambra State Chapter.
Thank you
for joining us on the program this morning.
Thank
All right, so you understand that she also consults, so forget saying that free, she they do it for us here. She also consults, so but she has actually said everything that needs to be said. Any extra is you to use your common sense, which, by the way, is not common. So, but if you know you don't really have the common one, you can actually consult with her.
Yes.
All right, so we'll move over to our breakfast news, Dax now, to bring you breakfast news this morning.
Stay with us.